Scott's Angle. I am Scott, and this is my first full YouTube video. What we're doing today is some underwater videos showing some what's down there and swimming around, and a little bit of fishing later on. So this is my first throw into the water, and I'm going to speed it up a little bit here so we can get to some of what we actually caught on video. That sound you're hearing is from the drawbridge that we're fishing underneath. There's a nice little fishing dock here, and that metal grate is the cars driving over the bridge. So, coming up on our first discovery, a little sheep's head poking around, curious about what's falling down into his water. See the oysters on the bottom. Wouldn't want to be down there with bare feet, that's for sure. Still trying to figure out how to use this thing on a fishing line. I'd like to direct your attention to the top of the screen. Something just swam by. There's another sheep's head, and then I don't know what that was. That was very interesting, that's for sure. Another two sheep's head poking around. All right, on to my next throw. Careful, a little bit of spinning about here. Hope you don't get a little queasy. As you can see, it was a very nice day. 1, 2, 3. Kersplash. Whoa! Poke! Hello, Mr. Crab. Gave a nice little poke to the camera. Bumped it around a little bit. That made for a fun little shot. All right, pulling it back out of the water here. Gonna give it another heave. Try to get a little farther away from the dock this time. Of course, it lands face down, so I had to cut out some video there and pull it up a little bit so we can get a better shot here. And then this guy swam by. I have no idea what that is. If anybody knows what it is, please feel free to leave a comment. Tried to clean up the coloring on that, but... And another throw in the water. Just trying to see if we can find anything else out there. And of course, figured out how to land it on the bottom. So, cut out a lot of that video. We're gonna give it another heave here. Fast forward it so we can get to the good stuff. Of course, you hear the bridge and the cars driving over the bridge. So hopefully it's not too annoying. All right, let's play here. Something's swimming around right there. Unfortunately, the water is a little too cloudy. Try to clear that up a little bit. But definitely some shadows. I think a boat's going by. Look right there, something just swam by. Another one coming up here. Same area. I don't know if they're eating something or what. I tried to zoom in. Couldn't really see it, but something's definitely swimming around down there. So that was kind of cool. All right, on this next clip, I tried to highlight the area where the fish swam through. Another little sheep's head there. Now we jump to another one. A little different species this time. Again, trying to highlight, flexing some skills. I think that's a speckled trout, maybe? Could be completely wrong, though. And that was the only shot of him that we got there. Again, first time messing around with a lot of this stuff, so I'm playing with some coloring, trying to see what I can do to make the shot better. Another something just swam by. Not sure what that was either. But unfortunately the water was too cloudy to get a better shot. All sorts of particulates floating around in the water. And the current was moving pretty good too. All right, jumping ahead, see down in the corner, another sheep's head swim by. That's a sinker trying to bait the fish into swimming in front of the camera. Not sure how good that worked out. Yeah. Something moving around right about there. Not sure what that was either. All right, time for another attempt. Dropping the camera into the water this time instead of a throw. Cuts down on the spinning. Don't want to make anybody dizzy. As we get down there, I've sped up the footage a little bit so we can get to the good part. That's why it sounds like the cars are flying over that bridge. Coming up on the next thing, hit play here. There's the bait, little shrimpy on the hook. I believe that was my daughter's fishing pole. Now we're zooming through again, hence the sped up view you see there. It's always interesting to see what's on the floor of the water there. This is a river, that brackish water that feeds into the intercoastal, which obviously goes into the ocean on the east side of Florida. All right, coming up here, something's swimming by, keeping an eye on the camera as it spins. It's kind of cool how it stayed with the camera as it turned. I have no control over it. It's on a line, heavy test line, because I don't want to lose the camera, obviously. And yeah, pretty dirty down there. Coming into the frame here, just at the top. It was just too low to see whatever that was. No idea. Definitely something swam by. And another sheep's head. Water was cold and they were very active, obviously. Okay, cut to another shot here and something swam by. Again, I have no idea what that was. It kicked up a little bit of the dirt on the floor. But that was kind of cool to see. And here comes this guy. Very curious. Gives us a little poke. Seems like he's a little upset that we're hanging out in his feeding grounds. But he definitely was checking out the camera. I had no idea at the time how close it was. Another little poke there. Spun the camera. And that was the last we saw that guy, I think. As the camera self-pans. Again, I have no control over it, so it's kind of spinning on its own. Something will come and check out what's going on over here again. Swam up in the corner there, and then swam back away. No idea what that was either. All right, skipping ahead here. Keep your eye on the top of the screen. Just out of frame. Just enough to make you wonder what that was. All right, gonna jump ahead here to a little bit more action. Things swimming around the peripheral of the camera lens here. Right there. Another fishy goes by. And then another fishy swims by. Very interesting to see these things just floating around and swimming around in their natural environment. I think the bait on the hook is actually attracting some of these guys to come take a peek. Not that any of them were biting at this point. I was trying to get my baited hook and the camera to line up to get a decent shot of what would happen. But I managed to only get the sinker in front of the camera and the hook with the bait out of the shot. But there's definitely a lot of activity down there. They just keep coming to check stuff out. Again, I think those are some mangrove snappers. Let's fast forward a little bit here. Get to some more action. All right, how about here? Coming into the frame, another peeker. Another unknown swims by at the top of the frame. No idea what that was, but something obviously hit the water. One last little peek in the top corner. And I think that was our last visitor on camera for this video. All right, had to change out the mount on the GoPro using a GoPro Hero Black 13. It's my little setup I was using. Gonna fast forward to the good part here on our sole actual catch of the day. You can hear the guys in the background talking. Not that you can make out what they're saying because it's going so fast. It's my wife and daughter down there. Came out to support me on my first video. And let's catch it right about here. This is the cast. Flounder. Yep. Look at that. Oh, wow. Damn, that's a big size, too. All right, settle down, buddy. Settle down. I need my hook thing. Was not prepared to catch anything. Can't believe I caught one. Where the hell is the thing? Yeah. Can we do this over the water? Probably. Oh. Booyah. That was awesome. And at this point, it's pretty much just catching rocks, and catching crabs eating my shrimp. And crying children. Caught a barnacle.
Barnacle lives matter.
Before it was too small.
I wasn't keeping anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I didn't measure it. It
Yeah.
looked probably was the right size, but
Yeah.
I didn't measure.
Yeah. Right.
I was just excited I caught something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crabby. And he got away with the shrimp. Oh my God, you guys! I caught the biggest one yet.